thinking would be having it. Ma'am, are the panelists here? We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Okay. Yes, I am reminding them again.
Yeah. Tapas here. Yeah. Hi, Tapas. Tapasya has
Good
joined and
morning.
she's the one who did all my invites.
Oh my God.
Thank you, Tapas.
Most welcome. I'm happy to be a part of this. All the very best.
Desai. Kushi Desai. Welcome, Kushi.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, Kushi, just introduce yourself. Where are you from?
I am from Mangalore, ma'am.
Very
Which school or which college?
No, ma'am, it's NGO, ma'am, in Mangalore.
Okay.
okay. Thank you for joining in.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hello, Sabha. Start ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ? Okay. Okay. Yes, thank you. The university website in charge was just telling me that the live streaming has started. Perpetua, welcome.
You are muted.
Perpetua, you're
You
muted.
are muted.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. Welcome. We're happy to have you.
Thank you so much.
It's actually another 2 minutes to go, and then I think we could start. Durga Shri. Welcome, Durga Shri. Shaivi, the other panelist, Shaivi, has joined in.
Yeah, yes.
Shaivi, welcome.
Welcome, Shaivi.
You're muted. I think you have to unmute.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank
for
you,
giving
Dr.
me this
Yashaswini, for your
opportunity.
best wishes. Yes. Shaivi, welcome. We have about 15 panelists with us. I mean, 15 of us right now here with us, including all of us. We are having the panelists one by one. Diya.
Diya has joined.
Yeah, Diya has joined. Welcome, Diya.
Hi.
Oh, Baliga sir. Baliga sir, thank you so much for joining.
Welcome, Mohan. Welcome.
Oh,
We need
thank
support
you.
from men like you, Mohan.
Megha, thank you so much for joining. So this is being live streamed also, because there was a lot of demand for people who may not be able to join this call, and therefore we are live streaming this. A lot more people could listen in.
Yes. So, panelists, do you know what a great occasion it is for you to be live streamed?
Yes. Yeah, I think, shall we start off? It's 3 o'clock.
Yeah, yes.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
let's not waste time, and as people come in, I think I would just admit them.
Okay.
So I would say a very good afternoon to all of you. The Center for Women's Studies, yes, the Center for Women's Studies is at Mangalore University, is extremely happy and delighted that to have this panel discussion for the girl child, on the girl child, and just to tell them that the center is with them. And we are particularly delighted that we are organizing this along with UXL in Mangalore. And we know how UXL has been standing up for young children, particularly for girls. So we have both come together to celebrate this day. And rather than have a regular seminar, we thought of bringing together young children, because that it is their lives that we're talking about, and they have every right to talk. And there are very less platforms also that are available for them. So we brought together, children, girls, and we have a male speaker also, boys, men, parents, teachers, just to hear them, and to tell them whether we could be a source of strength for them. Today is, we all know, it's a National Girl Child's Day. I do not know whether I should be saying we all know, because the papers have really not spoken about it. But every year on January 24th, right from 2008, this particular day is being celebrated, and it is being carried forward by the Ministry of Women and Child Welfare. Now, what is the objective of this day? Of course, if you ask me and if you ask all of us sitting out here, we would say that every day should be a Girl Child Day. Okay, but today the significance of this is that, on this day it is hoped that we would spread awareness amongst the public about the inequities that girls face in Indian society, and also to create awareness about the rights of the girl children and the importance of female education, health, nutrition, and so on. And as you would be knowing that the government, has got several programs for children. Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. We have Save the Girl Children. We have special funds for them. We have special departments for them. So we have reservations for them. So we have several programs that the state is doing for them. But I think, as I said, this day is a day that we really need to come together, because we realize how important girls are to society. If we were to see some of the indicators of development, particularly in our society, they don't look very good. Although the latest National Family Health Survey says that the sex ratio of girls is more than boys, and this is something to celebrate. But if we were to look into the child sex ratio for a majority of the states in India, it doesn't look very promising, and that is something it is something of a matter of concern to all of us, because we need to remember that if we do not protect, if we do not cherish our girl children, then that society cannot survive. So we are at the Center for Women's Studies, along with UXL Mangalore. We have come together, to celebrate this day in a very, very unique day. And for inaugurating this, we have with us Professor Phyllis Maria D'Souza. For most of us in Mangalore,
De Costa.
yes, De Costa. Yes, De Costa. Yes, and for most of us here, she's a very, very familiar face, a very, very familiar person. I would be introducing her much later on. She's the visionary as well as the backbone of UXL in Mangalore. Madam, on behalf of Mangalore University and all of us present out here, I extend to you a very, very warm welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. Yes, and then we have, yes.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Thank you so much. Yes. We have our resource persons, very well accomplished resource persons with us. And I think all the children, everybody who's participating here should be lucky to have a very qualified resource persons with us. One of our resource persons is Dr. Ramila Shaker, who is again a very well-known mental health professional, not only in Mangalore, but all over Karnataka and India. She has been my friend and my colleague, and a very, very much sought after person. And I welcome you. I'm really happy to welcome you today.
Thank you, Anita.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Our other resource person is, we have with us Ms. Harshita. She's a very determined young person with a strong resolve to help people. She is herself as a paralegal volunteer of District Court in Mangalore, apart from being a counselor also at Mangalore University. Harshita, on behalf of all of us here, on behalf of the university, I really welcome you. And to all our young panelists, You are the stars of today's program. You are the ones who are going to make this program very, very special. We're very, very eager to listen to you, and we look forward to traveling with you together on this journey. That is what this journey of life. We have 7 panelists totally with us today, 6 of whom are students. We are indeed very honored and delighted to have all of you with us today. Your contributions are going to make this National Girl Child Day very, very special. A very warm welcome to Perpetua Pereira, Amreen Sheikh, Kiara D'Souza, Diya Pai, Shaivi Salian, and yes, to Alan Raskina. And of course, a special welcome to Mrs. Zaibonesa, who's a teacher by profession. I'm very happy to offer my delightful welcome to all who have logged in today. I can see some old friends, I can see old students, current students, children of various schools and colleges, their parents and teachers, all who have come here with a very genuine interest to participate in this program. I also welcome my friends and colleagues from Mangalore University. Uh, with this welcome, I would now request Professor Phyllis Maria De Costa, the director of UXL Mangalore, to inaugurate. But before that, a couple of words about her. I must mention that, as I mentioned earlier, Professor Phyllis Maria De Costa is the director for UXL Mangalore. She's the backbone behind this. She's got over 54 years of experience as a teacher of English at the School of Social Work at Roshni Nilia, and she has seen many students graduate through the various courses that she offers through the Trinity College at London. Fiercely passionate about helping people, particularly women and girls. She has never been known to turn away a distressed face or a distressed person who turns up at her doorstep. And she staunchly believes that God is her strength. And Professor Maria De Costa has been a former member of the Academic Council of Mangalore University, and she has done the university proud. And the moment I talked to her about this discussion, she readily agreed, and she said, yes, we should do it together. Such is her spirit. So I think she's a right person to inaugurate this panel discussion. Ma'am, over to you, and I request you to inaugurate this panel discussion.
Thank you, Dr. Anita, for your kind words and introduction. Let me tell you, UXL is very proud to join Bangalore University, best universities in India, at this platform, fortunately on the virtual platform, when the world is afflicted by the corona. The less we talk about it is, the better it is. Let me congratulate the Mangalore University Women's Studies Center for coming up or for joining me in holding this kind of a program, particularly for the girl child. And I hope this is the first step, the beginning of many such programs to come. The girl child needs to be saved, to be supported, and to be helped. And therefore, we need to have these platforms and these programs again and again, so that we as a university, as an institute, show our loyalty and support to one of us, maybe small or big. They need us. They need us very much. They needed us always, and this is going to be the first step. I congratulate you, Dr. Anita, and the Women Studies Center. Today, with the following words, I inaugurate Save the girl, strengthen the world. This is something we have often thought of, but we have not given students an opportunity to voice what they feel. Today we have 7 mature young students. Among them, there is a young boy, just 12 between 12 and 13 years old, who is going to speak for the girl child. They have carefully crafted their thoughts and ideas. The thoughts that they are going to present are their own. So we have brainy minds seriously putting their views together, while a minuscule part of the student world is prepared to voice their views. I wonder what the rest of the young minds of the world are thinking. I'm sure when I told them next time it's going to be your turn, they were so very happy. So, with great eagerness, enthusiasm, I look forward to this webinar, and I'm sure this is going to be the first step women's studies is going to take to save the girl and to strengthen the world. You must have done many other programs, but here's a program with a difference. I'm very proud of each of my students, and so let us begin the seminar. While I have great joy to inaugurate it, let me start it with the first speaker. Shall I call upon the first speaker, Dr. Anita?
Ma'am, I thought, yes, anybody could do it. You could call upon the first speaker since you said you're not keeping too well. But you could call upon Ms. Perpetua Pereira to speak. And, by way of introduction, Perpetua, you could talk about her, Perpetua Pereira, a two-line introduction.
Yes.
She is...
Yes, I will. A young writer, a charcoal artist with a never die spirit, a student of 9th standard Mount Carmel CBSE school, is a young, vibrant, valiant Perpetua Pereira. The platform is all yours, Perpetua. Come, celebrate it.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Thank you. Dignitaries on this virtual platform and to all the participants. I am Perpetua Pereira, daughter of Mr. Baptist Peter Pereira, and I'm currently studying in class 9 at Mount Carmel Central School, Maryhill, Mangalore. Well, isn't this how every single girl in our country today introduces herself? With her father's name or her husband's name attached to it? And well, if you are a doctor, you will have your father or your husband also receiving your master's degree because your names are together tied. Never look a man in the eye. Never sit cross-legged in a room. Never raise your voice. And every time a man enters into a room, you're supposed to stand up and pay him your respects. I know I'm talking of the things that have been prevailing in the earlier times. But tell me, how much better are we now today? Earlier, a girl child was killed as soon as she was born because her parents, back in those days, believed that the birth of a girl child was a curse. And today, with the increasing development in technology and research, what are we doing? We are killing a girl child even before she is born. How ironic is this? And yes, living in the 74th year of independence, I'm astounded to see the increasing number of programs in support of the girl child, going hand in hand with the increasing number of rapes, female infanticide, feticide all over the country. Well, I believe I think I have a reason towards this problem. You know, people today are circulating so much information, so much awareness about the protection of girl child that today there are some really great men out there who walk out to protect her, who walk out to keep a watch all over her, only to end up scarring her with cruelty beyond compare. I myself have been a victim of this harassment. I, being from a very affluent family which was educated with the right minds without the right mindset, I got to bear the brunt of men ruling the roost. Well, I was tortured, humiliated, abused, and to an extent that I also had to receive beatings with iron chain only because I refused to obey the male superior in my family. And yes, this is the sort of rape that I got to bear. This is also a sort of rape that I got to bear from my very own person. And how disgraceful and disrespectful is that? Because none of us are deserved to be treated that way. My childhood has been scarred forever, and I can never forget it. And can that man ever try to undo all the wrongs that he has done so wildly and mercilessly? And well, things don't just end here. Discrimination, a word that I have heard n number of times during my social classes, fails to explain the mindset that actually causes all these wrongs in the society. This coming from experience, I see most of the crimes against a girl child happening right before my eyes. It could be torture, humiliation, abuse, mental fear, you name it, I've been through it. And I believe is still prevailing in our society because of the mentality that men rule the roost. Well, like I mentioned earlier, since ancient times, men have been men have considered themselves to be ruling the household, and nothing can ever go against their will. And similarly, being very honest, my father also believed that being flawless and authoritative is his birthright. And then he tried to control my life and that of my mom with all his might. Keyword being tried. Okay. And I must say that he did succeed to kind of torture us for a long spell of 12 years. Had my mom not created an opportunity for us to escape out of the hell that we were living in. And just like us, there are so many thousands of souls out there who are suffering, who are waiting to escape, who are waiting to free themselves out of this clutch of torture. And today here we are celebrating National Girl Child Day. With given the situation, there's no light at the end of the tunnel. And to all the girls out there, this opportunity to break free from torture is never given to you by the oppressor themselves. Go create it for yourself, and only then will you be freed. Create opportunities for yourself and for other females out there. When you grow together, when you free yourselves together, only then will you be able to develop yourself, your community, and the society on the whole. Today, as we celebrate the National Girl Child Day, I don't want to see men respecting us for a single day, giving us all the attention and respect. I believe that we girls are just not good enough, but we are more than enough to protect ourselves and to stand up for ourselves. We the girls are the strength of the world. We are girls with strength, self-respect, valor, and wisdom. We can grow together, we can develop a society together, and only then can we be assured to see a safe and a beautiful society for us tomorrow. I think on this National Girl Child Day, I wish to foresee a society that educates itself towards the right mentality, towards the protection of not just girls, but every other human being on this planet. Because only then will all of us be happy. And when all of us are happy and safe, our world will have no limits towards development. On this Girl Child Day, I wish to foresee a world that is free and that is safe for not just girls but every single person out there. Be you, live you, and do what you want. And because when you are right, the world around you has got to change and not you. So keep going. Thank you so much. Over to the moderator.
Can't hear. Ma'am, you have to unmute.
That was Perpetua screaming out help for the girl child, not just for herself, because she has come out unscathed with valor and conviction that she can stand up for herself, her mother, and her little brother, who were all victims of torture. Our second speaker today is Amreen. Amreen is a student of Roshni Nilaya. Amreen at 2021 says, I want to be independent. I don't want to take any financial help from my parents anymore. She has started giving tuitions. She's a brave girl. She knows what she wants. Even when the world blames her and puts her down, she puts her head up and says, I know I am right. Over to you, Amreen.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I'll now start saying my speech. Save the girl, save the world. So, this is our today's topic. This is really disgraceful to speak about such a topic, but still we have to speak out. No girl, no mother, ultimately no life. I am Amreen Sheikh. Learned members of the audience, distinguished guests, my fellow speakers, and friends. On this day, 24th of January, the National Girl Child Day, would be completely meaningless if we didn't give our girl child to this world. A girl child is a gift to this world. No one can equal a mother, a daughter, a sister, a wife to this world. This world is absolutely poor without a girl child. As a student standing in front of you all, I'd like to scream and shout out, save the girl, save the world. I'm grateful to God that I got an opportunity to speak about the greatest and the wretched episode happening in today's India. Not one, not two. Every day we hear such events about rape, murder, female feticide, female infanticide. And if they are not successful enough in killing, they would take up some other measures, exploit, abuse, do not send them to schools, do not send them to college, and other such activities. They try to put a biggest barrier in front of the girls. For saving the girl, the government has taken many initiatives, launched Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. Apart from that, many NGOs, many companies, corporate groups, Human Rights Commission ran various campaigns to save the girl child. Being a woman for me is the greatest blessing I will never regret. I don't think it is easy to be a girl. Every next phase of my life, there is a barrier for me. These barriers are not set by my parents, it's set by the society. Don't come home late, please. Don't roam around. Don't think too wide. You're just a girl. What does all of this mean? Aren't we humans? Can't we breathe? Can I choose a life for myself? Is society really necessary when it comes to a girl? My favorite writer, Khalil Gibran, quotes, they come through you, but not from you. And though they are with you, yet they belong not to you. I'd like to share one such episode with you all. 10 to 15 virgin girls would be put inside a container with the oxygen mask and food Diapers. They are supposed to stay in the same tank for 10 to 15 days, continuous, while they were injected with drugs and were sold for a very huge amount. And after the first client, their genitals would be stitched again for reuse. This is very painful for me to actually say this event. Nearly 800,000 of people are in human trafficking, especially for women trafficking. Let me tell you, a girl is more mature than a boy of the same age. In understanding, in being wiser, stronger, braver than a male counterpart. If they are given the right opportunity, education, and grooming, she can excel in every part along with the rest of the womankind. When a girl is born, it's a two-in-one dower to her parents. I wonder how many of the people in this world know about this gift. I repeat with a greater conviction, if you want to save the world, save the girl. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you, Amreen. I could see the pain when you told us about that incident. That is just one stray case that you have spoken about. I know there are many tortuous situations that a girl faces. The next speaker is Kiara. Kiara, are you there?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes. Our next speaker is Kiara D'Souza. Kiara D'Souza is a very mature writer. At the age of 17, she has written articles that surprise adults. That is the kind of thinking she exudes and expresses in the book that is lately published, Stories and Sense. The sense part of the book are 18 articles by Kiara. Kiara is trying very hard to get into the medical profession. And here we have this brilliant child express herself to us. Over to you, Kiara.
Thank you,
Kiara
ma'am.
D'Souza.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Good evening, everybody. Today's topic is Save the Girl, Save the World. Now, to be very honest, this topic has made me very uncomfortable over the years. And this is, I think, partially due to the fact that we don't find enough information about this topic or enough evidence supporting why we need to exist. I think when someone says, Save the Girl, and they hold up a slogan saying such, they want us to explain why we need to save the girl. It's almost as if they don't see us as human beings, as one of them. We have to provide and compile so much evidence saying that girls are as smart as boys in so and so field. They are as intelligent as boys in these fields. But they don't recognize the fact that even without serving the male community, we still deserve to exist because we are people, we are human beings, and the right to live is ours. In school, I was given this topic, Save the Girl, Save the World, about which I had to write an essay. When I went to the library to search for material, this is what I found. Girls should be saved because they are the mothers of our future leaders. And I felt aghast, to be honest, because there was an implication here that women themselves weren't going to be tomorrow's leaders. Their lives were only limited to the role of caregiver, to be the mothers of great personalities, to not being the great personalities themselves. And this is true, and I don't think I was reading too deep into that single sentence. Because try taking a look around at the leaders of our country right now. What percentage of them are women? I bet you could count it with a single finger, with a single hand. And without gender reservation being in place, it would be much lower than it is right now. It is absolutely not because women do not have the ability. It is because the men next to her will not tolerate her presence. Why? Because they see her as a threat. The next line went something like this. They are somebody's sister, wife, or daughter. Girls are more obedient than boys and look after their younger siblings. Girls are also more likely to take care of their parents after marriage. I could sense that maybe there were good intentions in the book, but they were coming out all wrong. Why do girls only have value when they act as supporting characters for men? Are girls only worth saving if they're submissive and obedient, if they sacrifice their well-being for someone else's sake? There is also the glorification of the profession of a mother. The more she sacrifices, the more she is labeled a good mother. And the more she decides to pursue her own interests, she's seen as a bad mother. Or is it that we're so used to pushing all these commitments onto women that we feel betrayed when she chooses to break free and live the life that she deserves? I believe that one book forgot a very important detail. We should put our efforts into saving the girls because, surprise, girls are also human beings and they deserve the right to live irrespective of the role they play in a man's world. Yes, they can be someone's wife, mother, or daughter, but why are we forgetting that they are living, breathing people? There is absolutely no need for deep, in depth justification how saving a girl's life will save the world. I think it is common sense because without girls, you will not have a future generation, and without a future generation, there will be no humanity. Men should not have the authority to play devil's advocate and justify crimes against women or another human being. Our existence is not a controversy or a debate where two people take sides and try to scrutinize the issue. The very fact that marital rape still isn't being criminalized in India is very disturbing because even male members of the jury believe that a wife is a husband's property. They debate over her right to consent. It's almost as if they see her as an object used to satisfy their husband, a person with ownership over her own body. And this thought process is what needs to change. I watch documentaries every now and then where people interview the general public about their opinions on certain topics. And someone goes to a village, an interviewer, and he asks a man this question upon seeing how many daughters he has. And he asks this: why is it seen as unfavorable for a woman to give birth to a girl child? And he says, it is a waste of money to raise a girl. Anyways, when she grows up, I have to pay to get her married. Why should I take the trouble to pay for her education as well? So now the interviewer is smart. He says, well, there is free education for girls in all schools. There are even free meals for them offered over there. Why aren't you sending her to school? The father immediately changes his stance. He says, no, no, why will I do that? If she becomes too independent and finds work in the city, she will leave the village. Not only will I not be able to find her a suitable husband, there will be nobody to take care of me when I am old. My son is anyways going to city, but my daughter should stay at home to take care of me. Now, this is the problem. The government can only do so much. They can provide free education, free meals, reservations, loan schemes, etc., etc. But the fear that women will break free from the constraints of the patriarchy rouses fear in men. And the more women realize how poorly they have been treated, the more they will want to stand up for themselves and depend less on men. And men see that as a threat to their masculinity. Because having a woman depend on you is seen as very macho. And that is what men think is what being a man is about. Is it the girl's fault that there is a price tag attached to her existence? That someone has to pay for her education, pay to get her married, pay for her to get a job? Is it her fault? Is being born a grave sin on her part? How have we come so low that we curse the very moment a child is born simply because it possessed the wrong genitals? The root of this problem is the Indian mentality. Generations worth of gender bias and patriarchy has convinced even other women to turn against their sisters and uphold age-long customs. It's time that we get together to dismantle the system that thrives on the unpaid labor of women. If we fight amongst ourselves and hold women back from achieving their goals, we will never develop a society. More than half our population is female. 1.4 billion is our total population. So you can imagine how many women's dreams are being pulled back from them. And you can imagine what we could have achieved in the past century if we had given women the same opportunities that we have given to men. How many more leaders, athletes, and scientists could have come out of the simple act of giving women the same treatment as men? These trends are not hidden, but it is us who fail to recognize them. And as a student, I really want to see more female personalities on TV, more female leaders, more female scientists, more female comedians. I want more people, I want more women so that I can look up to them and relate to them. Save the girl, not because she will be of use to you someday, but because she is a person. She deserves to live just like any other human being, animal, or a living thing. And as adults, it is our responsibility to create a safe and nurturing environment for all children, irrespective of their gender. Biases are taught, not inherited, and it's time we came to our senses as the Indian society.
That was Kiara. Frank and forthright. She hit the nail on the head. She was not afraid to use the language that she used. And that's because of the pain that she undergoes. Just because the world says, save the girl and strengthen the world. She has toppled the very statement she started with. Thank you, Kiara, for
Thank
that
you.
brilliant presentation.
Thank you for the opportunity, ma'am.
And now I call upon our youngest speaker, the only gentleman speaker today, little Alan Philip Raskina, the brand ambassador of UXL in Mangalore, an 800 student of St. Teresa's ICSC school. Let's hear it from Alan, our energetic, brilliant, mature young man. Over to you, Alan.
Thank you, ma'am. A daughter is one of the most beautiful gifts this world has to offer. And if we don't accept it, then we are threatening our existence on the planet. We need women. We need mothers. And they are the biggest blessing to the world. Save a girl child if you want to save your existence on the planet. That is why I, Alan Raskina, am right here to raise awareness and emphasize on the importance of a girl. Even after so many years of independence, we are still discriminating against a girl child. It is exceedingly sad to read about rape cases every single day. Girls are committing suicide due to shame. Female feticide is most common. All of this is because of the misconception that the society has put in the minds of people. It is shocking for a student like me who lives in India to hear all of this occurring nearly every day. The newspapers are full of this. Where is Bharat Mata when our own daughters are in pain and problem? What has India especially done for the girl child, may I ask? Woe to a country that turns a blind eye to genuine cases like that of protecting a child, of a girl. Our laws are weak. Where are they when someone really needs them? Only on paper? They haven't done their duty. They haven't protected a girl child at all. As of 2020, more than 130 million girls around the world have no access to education, according to the BBC. Worldwide, girls ages 5 to 14 spend more than 160 million hours on household chores. Educating girls can eradicate most of the issues that this gender-biased society has to offer. It helps reduce the rate of child marriage, disease, and helps strengthen the economy by helping girls have access to higher paying jobs. 20th International Day of the Girl Child is celebrated on 24th January every year. Is it only necessary to celebrate the gift of a girl child on that day only? Can't we do it every day? The need of the hour, stronger steps to free women, to think by themselves, for themselves. The health and future of our country lies in the hands of women. Protect them with care and support. Hereafter, women should not be considered weak. The girl child has to be protected and loved for the love and life they give others. We need to work to ensure that she gets every opportunity to realize her potential. Yes, sacrifices are innumerable. My mother, for example, has always kept our needs before hers, so that we can surpass all fields and stand on our feet. It is alarming finding that the number of girl childs are declining. This is not a good sign and is a warning signal for the nation to wake up. The caution should be taken seriously. Let us, in solidarity, raise our voices to ensure their protection and a bright future for the vulnerable ones to carry on the civilization. Save a girl, save the world. Thank you.
That was Alan, who watches his mother patiently take care of her three children single-handed when Alan's father is far away at sea. Alan, you did well by joining this platform, and we are proud, and you should be proud, that you are the only single male speaker speaking for saving the child and strengthening the world. Kudos to you.
Thank you, ma'am.
The next speaker is a mature, well-loved, lovable teacher, Mrs. Zaibonesa, with 27 years of experience teaching in a government school. Over to you, Mrs. Zaibonesa, for your take on the topic, Save the Girl, Strengthen the World. And I'm sure you have a lot to offer us because of your interest and enthusiasm about saving everything, not just a girl child. Over to you.
Thank you, my super inspiration, Maria Ricosta ma'am, for encouraging me with the introduction of these beautiful words. This is a translation from a Sanskrit shloka. One daughter is equal to 10 sons. A person attains a phala, that is, a good merits and good results by attaining and stirring up and upbringing 10 sons. The same phala is attained by begetting a single daughter alone. So, a daughter is so powerful. A baby girl is one of the beautiful miracles of life. Every man needs a mother, wife, sister, and then why not a daughter? In Indian culture, we call girl as Bhagya Lakshmi. And today, my respectable and honorable personalities, guests, and a wonderful audience. A warm good evening to all of you. Zaibonesa is my name, and a primary school teacher, a proud mother of two beautiful girls. Today, have an opportunity to share my views about saving a girl child on this occasion of the National Girl Child Day. Mother India, we call our homeland. We adore her, saying Bharat Mata. But with a heavy heart to stand on the sacred soil and preach about saving the girl child gives me more pain. We have to fight for our survival today. Men and women contribution to this creation of our species is vital. Even though in India we worship female deities, we don't welcome a girl child as we celebrate the birth of a boy. In fact, in many parts of our country, female peticides are being killed even before it has been born. Girls are equally important as boys in this society to maintain social equilibrium. There was a significant drop in the number of the girl childs, and recently a news report revealed not a single girl child was born in nearly 132 villages in Uttarakashi district in Uttarakhand. Dear ones, can you just believe this? What may be the cause for such a drop, and why are we hesitating to that bundle of joy of a girl child to come in our family? Maybe because of the crimes such as female fiticide killing, dowry deaths, rape, obviously poverty, illiteracy, gender discrimination, and many other facts. It is critical to enhance public knowledge about the importance of saving female child in this society. Regarding this, the government of India had come forward with so many steps, such as the protection of women from domestic violence, the Act of 2005, the ban on female infantry, the Immortal Traffic Act, proper education, gender equality, the Ladli scheme launched in 2008, followed by Dhanlakshmi scheme in 2011, the Kishore Yojana, the Sabala scheme in 2012, and as all we know, Beti Padhao, Beti Bachao in 2015. And I want to ask you, to what extent all these schemes is fruitful? And this is still a big question tag. My dear ones, the first and foremost step is to be taken in our homes to save a girl child. Teach the men, teach the male of the family, a brother, a father, a husband to
Probably we
respect a
can take
girl
another two
child.
minutes more.
A girl child deserves in life, and she should be treated equally because a male and a female both deserve to live because of survival is the only way the humankind will continue to exist.
Zaibo, can you conclude?
Yes, and
Overshot the time.
yes,
Yeah.
I want a question that our young generation has a lot of power. So I keep in your hands, the future is in your hands. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Zaibu. Zaibu has two lovely daughters whom she is very proud of. She has educated them well and they hold high offices in the Gulf. Thank you, Zaibu, for your brilliant speech. And now over to our writer who has acquired international status, Diya Pai, a writer at a novelist at the age of 14. Diya Pai is a homeschooler, and here she is expressing her views. Over to you, Diya.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, distinguished guests. Today we are here to talk about the topic Save the Girl, Save the World. And I feel like this topic has a lot of misconceptions. Most people think the Save Girl Child movement was all about not killing girls when they are born. But honestly, it's so much more than that. Because I want to say every non man is subjected to hate on a daily basis. A few years ago, there was a word used for a person who supports gender equality, a feminist. And this word has a powerful meaning and it started to spread around like wildfire. But I never thought the word feminism would have so much backlash. Feminism means women being treated equal to men, not above, not below, but equal. Every day, women get laughed at for doing work that men usually do. The other day, I met my friends and we were ordering food. After a while, when someone came to deliver the food, they laughed at the fact that the person who delivered it was a lady driver. And this is at such a small scale. There are people who get denied the biggest titles, like CEO of a company or president, just because they aren't a man. But this is not the case the other way around. A man is appreciated when they take care of their own child. A man is appreciated when they know how to sweep the floors. And however bad it might taste, a man is appreciated when they learn how to cook. And even though these things are essential for living, people act like they have done such a noble job. But I've never seen a woman be appreciated for doing these things. Rather, they are always deemed weak. And I'm sorry to say this, but this is way worse in India than compared to some other countries. A few months ago, there was a person who opened a museum where they showcased clothes of rape victims, the clothes they wore the night when it was happening to them. And none of the clothes were showy. And what's sad is that most of the clothes were for small children, 6-year-olds. But why do we still ask the question, what was she wearing? And why should we teach girls self-defense instead of teaching men what is right and what is wrong? J.K. Rowling, writer of the famous series of books called Harry Potter, said she changed her name from Joanne Cathy Rowling to J.K. Rowling because she was scared that people wouldn't buy her book because of the fact that she was a woman. And when I tell this to people, they tell me she was overreacting or that wasn't necessary, she could have gone by her original name. But if you really think about it, how many male authors can you think about in your head compared to female authors? Was J.K. Rowling really overreacting? And people also say girls mature faster than boys. But I would say that girls are punished for the things that boys are allowed to do under the title Boys Will Be Boys. Let that sink in. I'm going to repeat. Girls don't mature faster than boys. It's just that girls are punished for the things that boys are allowed to do without any hesitation. And it is this form of caging and restriction that prevents a young girl from exploring the world. Misogyny is the dislike or prejudice against women. And I know I spoke a lot about misogyny today, but now I'm also going to talk about why we should save the girl child. Back to the story of J.K. Rowling. Many people believe that she was a man who wrote those books. And I remember me in 4th standard reading Harry Potter, and when I flipped to the last page, I saw a picture of a woman. And that gave me so much hope that maybe I could write. Maybe the world isn't dominated by men. Don't you think all women would have been successful if they would have got this exposure, if they changed their name to a masculine one? Many female novelists change their name to masculine ones to get a lot of recognition because they feared their work wouldn't be appreciated. And I also see people refusing to accept work by women because they think it's petty and unimportant. But Madame Curie, Oprah Winfrey, Jane Austen, Anne Frank, Maya Angelou, Malala Yousafzai, Ada Lovelace, Amelia Earhart, the list goes on and on. Didn't they do something great? Now imagine if all women had equal resources that men had. Don't you think we could have also done something equally as great as them? To me, gender equality is not about religion, politics, nature, or any other differences between men and women, but it is about limiting yourself and your potentials because of your gender. And starting movements like this, holding seminars and campaigns, this is the least we can do to promote gender equality. And this is why I would want to take a moment to thank Mangalore University, Women Study Center, and UXL Institute of Excellence for providing this platform and supporting women empowerment. What better cause could there be to save the girl and strengthen the world? We are not there yet, but it is definitely a huge step forward. Our voices are the loudest when raised together. So why not use this voice to prove to the world that we deserve to live and that we will bring good change? Thank you.
That was wonderful. Diya, you really stunned me by your presentation because I know Diya is stage shy. But today, by facing us all, though most of the videos were not showing the people's faces, that just served Diya's purpose, and Diya expressed herself without any fear. Congratulations, Diya, on that. And now we move on to the last speaker of today, Shaivi, who is going to lash it out again on behalf of you and me, girls of the century. Over to you, Shaivi. The brilliant Shaivi.
Thank you so
Yes,
much,
Shaivi.
Maria ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes. I request people to come on video. It is so encouraging for Shaivi to speak to you when you are on video. Yes. Yes, Shaivi.
Thank you, ma'am. As a young girl, I aspired to change the world. I aspired to take on the world and squash every prejudice.
What's happening?
Shaivi,
Is there some disturbance?
I think
looks
it
like,
is internet issue.
yes.
Shivy?
Just a minute. I'm
That's
finding out.
okay. That's okay.
Give me 1 minute.
Yeah, sure.
I'm connecting with Shaivi. Shaivi, Merlin has joined from America. Merlin Brito. Welcome, Merlin.
Is there some issue with Shivy?
I'm just checking. I'm just checking. Uh, hello, what happened? Okay, start. Otherwise, we can continue with the other speakers.
Yeah, shall we go ahead with the other speakers then? And we will give a chance to her later on after her net connects.
Just a minute. Yes, Shaivi. Yes, you are disconnected. Okay, okay. Now you take time to come. I will ask the resource persons to come on screen.
Yeah, ma'am, now I'll just take over. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Let's,
Yes,
let's
yes. I
shall
hand
we?
over the platform to
Yes,
Dr. Anita Ravishankar.
yes. Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing all these panelists. And we will come back to the panelists later on. Each one of you had spoken really well about your experiences. And it has been really, really encouraging for us out here. We now move on to hear our resource persons. So far, we were hearing our very young panelists speak about themselves and speak about what's happening around them. It's now time to listen to our resource persons. And the first resource person for today we have with us is Dr. Ramila Shaker. Ramila Shaker is a very, very well known person, not only in Bangalore, but also in Karnataka, as I mentioned earlier, even in India, and perhaps even all over the world because she has been teaching in other parts of the world as well. She has had over 34 years of teaching experience at the PG Department of Social Work at the School of Social Work Roshni Nilaya at Bangalore. She's a much sought after person because she's a mental health professional. She has conducted several programs, in fact, over 1,000 programs she has conducted over these years for students, for teachers, for parents, for the government sector, as well as for the corporate world. She has also occupied several positions of importance and presently is a member of the Prevention of the Sexual Harassment Committee at the Kasturba Medical College, as well as the Tetherfee software company, and also a member of the Sparsh at Mangalore University. She's a well-known and sought-after psychological counselor and is currently the director of the Manashanti Counseling, Training and Research Center, which she runs along with her husband, Dr. Shaker, who's a neurophysician, and they are based in Mangalore. I invite you, Dr. Ramila, because and I want all the participants who are here to listen to Dr. Ramila very carefully, because as so many of you spoke today, we spoke about generalities. We spoke about, we are not women are not given these opportunities and so on. This is not a men bashing session, but we're trying to get together into the intersectionalities. You see, all of us are governed by these intersectionalities of caste, of our own families, of our, of our region, region specific, of our religions and so on. And within that, we are trying to battle ourselves. So abuse is not only for women and for girls, men and boys also go through a lot of abuse. And this is the reason we have got together, we have put together these two resource persons. We have Dr. Ramila Shaker now, and Harshita will come in later. What exactly? Because I think whenever somebody of us goes through any traumatic experience or abuse, the first thing we look for is some sort of a help. Okay, and many a time we do not know where we have to go to. So I think this is the dialogue that we are starting out from the Center for Women Studies. And I'm extremely happy that Dr. Ramila Shaker has consented to be one of the resource persons here. Dr. Ramila Shaker, may I now request you to make your presentation?
Thank you, Dr. Anita. And thank you to Madam Phyllis also. I think I should thank you for including me, because I have a very selfish motive here. Because as Dr. Anita mentioned, 15 years back when we were going through a training conducted by WHO. Now I think it's almost 20 years back. I remember saying that we don't have much abuse in Mangalore. And today I take back my words because almost every day in our clinic, we have some sort of abuse that we encounter, as she rightly mentioned, maybe on children in general, boys and girls, and specifically with girls with regard to many issues. So I echo her also to say that I was very, enriched by the speakers, the panelists who were able to speak out so very, fearlessly about the thoughts. And I was just looking at the same age children who come and sit in front of me in my clinic and are so scared, are so anxious, and are so fearful. So I was wishing that I could take something from these children here who spoke and pass it on to the children who are there in my clinic. I mean, I'm sure these programs that Anita and Phyllis and all of us are planning, I'm sure we'll be able to, make my dream come true someday. So I just want to say, like, I want to start this whole thing. Like, I was just listening to everybody, and something that I think we all need to understand is that we need to understand when we are talking about any sort of harassment or torture or abuse, we need to understand the whole concept of gender. I'm not going to come here with a lot of definition for you, but I'm just going to give you some thoughts to start on, saying that we are all allocated gender roles right from our childhood, whereby we are expected to behave in a particular manner. And we also behave in that particular manner. Okay. And that's where I think there are some ideas that have been put forth in our minds. And to get this, I usually do this when I have a session. I usually talk to the children who come to my clinic, or I talk to women, depending on whom the program is for. So this week, after Anita told me, I just tried contacting a few of the students who are coming. And some ideas that I got from them are these. I've just picked out five of them, and I'm going to put them in front of you. One is, girls are gentle and boys are tough. And I want you all to remember these, phrases, because they come from the students, irrespective of whether they are boys or girls. Second, it's natural for boys to fight, but girls usually are supposed to keep quiet and be gentle. Again, boys play outdoor games, but girls prefer to stay indoors. It's natural for girls to cry, so boys should not cry. Okay. And something that came out from a young person was, men work to provide for their families, and women usually work when they want to buy some things for ourselves. Why am I talking about this? I'm not talking whether it's right or wrong, but I'm just talking about, see, these are the ideas that are there in our mind, which leads to the situations that our panelists spoke about. Why do we need to save our girls? Because we think that they're so gentle, they need others to save them. Okay. Why do you think that we can't fight our own battles? Because we are supposed to be quiet and gentle, and we are supposed to tolerate everything. The woman is supposed to be a power of patience. So that's why, so whatever happens, she's supposed to keep quiet and tolerate. Now, all this leads to a lot of issues. And from there, I'm taking up the topic that was given to me as psychological empowerment. See, it's nothing but, for me, empowerment is a multidimensional process. And what is it doing? It's not helping you to become better than what you were, or it's not helping you to become better than a boy, or a boy better than a girl. It is just helping you to gain control over our own lives. I just want you to keep this in mind. It is helping us to gain a control over our own minds. And what is psychological empowerment? It is where you are able to build self confidence in ourselves. We are able to recognize our self worth. We are able to give a chance to take control of our life. So I think this is something I would want each of the participants who are here to understand. It's a very, very important concept for me. Why I'm saying is because I was just discussing this with Professor Anita in the morning. I have people coming to me after 20 years after they have been harassed, and they've kept that in mind still. Why? I didn't know whom to go to. One. Second, I didn't have the confidence to talk about it. Third, I did talk to my mother, but she told me the repercussions will be worse on me. So I just kept quiet. So I think that is something that I want to say that I think the first thing, even before I go on to talk about harassment and abuse, which is going to continue by the next speaker, I want all of us, and I think it is the last speaker who said this, every person, every human being to have a positive self-concept, whether you're a girl or a boy. Know yourselves, know you're positive, accept yourself, accept your negatives. So what if I'm not as beautiful as somebody else? So what if I'm not as good as somebody else? So don't compare yourself with others. Start believing in yourself. That's where you'll start verbalizing what you want to do. And gone are the days. I think Phyllis, Anita, myself, and the senior people who are here, we're lucky to have people to pat our backs when we did something nice. But now you may not have that. So start patting your own self. That is, reinforce yourself. I mean, just these 5 points I want to tell you, it's a take home message for you. Know yourself, accept yourself, don't compare yourself with others, believe in yourself, and reinforcing yourself. Secondly, when there is some sort of a mishap, something doesn't go according to what we want, I think we become emotionally upset. So that's why I've gone to the emotional aspect of it, saying again there, emotional management is something that is very important. And for that, I think we need to know our emotions. Exactly the same. Need to know our emotions. Second, don't let emotions control you, but you have the reins of the emotions which you will be controlling. Because the moment emotions control you, your actions are going to go haywire. And there will be frustrations, there will be barriers. Meet those frustrations and barriers and manage these situations effectively. That is what I want to tell you at the beginning. Just to run through within the short time that I have. Okay. When we are talking about harassment, there are different types of harassments. There are different types of abuse. There is physical abuse, which I think some of us have already spoken about today. Being hit, being, smashed, being, slapped, and all those things, which to a certain extent we are able to talk about. Lot of emotional abuse that goes on, even comparing ourselves with somebody else. You're being compared with your sister who was better in maths in school. You being compared to your brother. I think one incident that was told that happened very recently also. I know one of the participants the panelists just spoke about, not wanting to educate the girl, but wanting to educate the boy because for various reasons. And that happened just after, this pandemic, when I got a call from somewhere else because of the national network that we were working with, self-help group as such we were working. I had a father who asked me saying that, see, I have absolutely no money, madam. I have lost my job now. And I have 2 children. I've admitted my son in my private school near my house, but I'm planning to admit my daughter in a government school. I'm just leaving the other conversation to you for you to understand because I don't want to take time. But this sort of emotional abuse happens day in and day out in many, many places. And the ones that we don't talk about at all is the sexual abuse. It's an unwelcome sexual behavior of one or more people towards me. And I don't talk about it. Why I don't talk? Because I don't know how to talk about it. And somewhere, we have been made to understand that I have been responsible for it. Because I have a lot of people, It's not only children that I'm talking. It's also women I have who come and say, maybe, ma'am, I shouldn't have, because as Professor Anita just mentioned, I'm in the posh committee of many of the organizations. So when we deal with, posh incidents, sexual harassment incidents, when we deal with it, I have a lot of women coming, no, ma'am, I don't want to get into the whole rut of inquiry because maybe I was responsible. I shouldn't have spoken to him so well. I should have kept a distance to myself. Why are we starting to blame ourselves? Because we have been told it's the dress that she wore. So I always keep telling in all my posh training programs I give, what has my 2-year-old child who was brought to me, okay, worn when she was sexually abused by her own maternal uncle? What was the dress that she wore? A 2-year-old. This is where I think we need to understand. This is something that we are not talking about at all. Somebody gave statistics, but there is no statistics because people don't come forward. And even if they come, there is so much of, fear that is involved. And here I just want, because I have young girls, I'm just going to quickly go through, it's not only the physical sexual abuse, it's not only touch, it's not only sexual rape, it's not only assault, even there is visual sexual harassment, which you have to understand. Obscene gestures, showing somebody inappropriate pictures, inappropriate messages or emails, which none of my girls even think it is a sexual abuse. They just delete it if they don't want. And you can go against this person. Please understand that. Don't take it. You get up in the morning and you see an inappropriate picture that is being sent to you. First, get up and tell that person, I don't like it. Because that's the first thing you should do. The moment you keep quiet, that person thinks, oh, I can go ahead with this. Don't keep quiet. Get up and say, I don't like it. And if you keep sending me, I'll have to report this to my parents, or I'll have to report it to somebody. So that person knows that this will not be taken. This is with regard to visual, which is becoming increasing now because of social media. Second is verbal. The jokes, the comments, even compliments, the way they're giving is becoming very sexual. Oh, those tight jeans look great on you, yeah. Your body looks great, yeah. I mean, you can just give a compliment saying that you're looking nice. You look sexy in that dress, yeah. And you're feeling uncomfortable there, but you're not doing anything. You're just squirming there. Why? Please understand these derogatory comments. Even based on your gender, you girls can't do anything. Your wolf whistles, jokes that are going around, even in your own class, if there is some dirty jokes that go on, maybe all the 15 other girls are okay with it, but I'm not okay. Please stand up and say you're not okay. Nothing. But I'm so scared that they'll think I am a narrow-minded person. I am like this. I am from the village. It's okay. I am not okay. I am not comfortable. That's all that matters. And of course, the physical one, unwanted hugging, or, even stalking, even, trying to follow you. All those comes under this. And please remember, why I'm being so very, humble about it is it can do a lot of harm. It can do a lot of harm to the person because the person gets very, very demoralized. That's what I told you. I was just sharing. I had this one person who came to me after nearly 20 years that she was sexually abused when she was in 2nd standard. And she came and now she's saying, because her parents are trying to get her married, and she says, no, ma'am, I couldn't even have a normal, regular friend who is a boy in my class. Because every time that boys, even by chance, even the boy sitting next to me, my hand touched me, I would remember that face above me when I was 8 years old, when I didn't know what he was doing was wrong. And I allowed him to do that for so many years. So I think this is something that I want you all to remember. And students and boys and girls, I think you need to feel positive about yourself, because when you're positive, you won't allow anybody to take advantage of you. And secondly, be assertive. Don't be scared. Just be loud enough to say something. And this has happened. I also give this example every time. Once when I was traveling in the bus, in the regular normal R buses, this is even before POSCO that I'm talking about, not after POXO. I'm talking about before POXO also. Okay, that when I was traveling, I just happened to see back. I saw one girl actually literally getting into the seat. She was standing, and I realized something was wrong. So I just went back. I pushed people in front. My friend and me, we just went back, and I just asked the girl a simple question: "What's happening? Are you ill? Is something happening?" I didn't ask her, "Is somebody troubling you?" I just asked her, "Is something happening?" And all that she did, so when I asked her in a loud voice, all that she did was she gave a very, very uncomfortable look back at one person. And so all of us looked at that person, and the next minute, that person was gone. And that's what I did. And that's where I told the girl loudly, saying that you should have done this long back. The moment he was, trying to do something to you, you should have just said, call him uncle, call him brother, call him whatever you want. Uncle, please don't do that, uncle. That's enough. Maybe some won't, but then you need to take it up. And that's where you need to know the good touch and the bad touch, because most of the cases that we are getting is not from a stranger. The one incident that I gave you was maybe. Most of them are from people you know, your uncle, your auto rickshaw drivers, your, person whom you know, your neighbor whom you know very well. Okay. And for that, develop the life skills. Develop your life skills. Become more confident. Be capable of managing your emotions. This is a stress situation. Learn how to think. And something that Professor Anita told me, I think, seek help. Don't hesitate. Please don't hesitate. You're not going to be blamed. Nobody is going to do anything to you. Yes, as a mental health professional, the moment you come to me, especially under the POXO Act, which I'm sure the next speaker, Harshita, will be talking about, when I come to know, I have to report it. And I've taken the help of Childline, who have managed many, many situations very well for me. So don't hesitate to seek help. Seek help. There are so many people. Your parents are there. Maybe if your parents are not helping, go to one of the teachers. If one of your teachers is not going to helping, go to Childline. If Childline is also, you feel, I know that they will help. But there are so many people near you. There are so many mental health professionals. Just take their number, contact them, get back to them, and take help. That's where I think you need to know where to go to. That's very, very important for me. That's very important. So don't bottle up, students, because the moment we bottle up, we are, like a something that has been put in a gun bag and tied. Take help when needed, and please understand, it's not a weakness to recognize that you want help. It's your strength. Because most of the time, this is another stigma that we all have. When we go to help, especially to mental health professionals, or people will think that we are weak. No. It is your strength that you have recognized that you need help. And that strength, you should encash that strength. Okay, I just want to add, because I was given just 10 minutes and I want to end because I want more of participation and, dialoguing. I just want to add 3 sentences and end with that. This is going to be my take-home message for you. Nobody deserves to be harassed physically, emotionally, or sexually. Second, remember, all of us have to be respected. We need to be respected because we are human beings. We are not a commodity. If you are able to remember these 3, nobody deserves to be harassed. I am to be respected, and I am not a commodity. I am a human being, and I need to deserve to a particular place in the society. I think definitely we'll all go forward. So with that, once again, I'm looking forward to meeting all of y'all and being able to do something I think Anita and Phyllis have started this in a very, very nice manner. So let's take it forward. I don't want this to be just another uh, webinar and say, oh, I was a part of a webinar and end it here. I think if at least a few of us can come together and continue, I think it will be worth. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Ramila Shaker. As usual, in your very effective and a very passionate way, you have appealed, very rightly so, and the punchline being that nobody deserves to be harassed. Nobody who is vulnerable deserves to be harassed. And that is something very, very effective. And I do not want to add on to that, to, no, to more add on to what Dr. Ramila Shaker spoke about. But what we also need to keep in mind is that many a time when girls or even older women are abused, they do not know where to go. Where do I go is this first
Absolutely.
question. Secondly, if I go somewhere, what are they going to think about me, about my family? Will my daughter be able to get married? And then once I go there, go over to the police station or somewhere and register a case, then what is happening to me? So I think the speaker next would be speaking about it. So these are all the situations in which all of us are there. But the first step to this is, yes, say this panel discussion, and we make ourselves visible to the people that we are there. That anybody who feels abused, who feels vulnerable, could always approach Manashanti, could always approach Dr. Ramila Shaker, who would help you to take it forward. So spread this message and we'll keep this dialogue rolling. I promise you that this is not going to be a one time panel discussion that we have and we close shop with that. But this dialogue is going to continue. This is going to be a platform where anybody could come and voice out, because I realize how it's not very comfortable to go across and speak about your problems. But this platform would be open. So with that, I invite the next speaker. We have
Yeah,
a young speaker.
yeah,
Yes.
Shaivi will speak. Shaivi will speak now. She's come on screen.
Okay. 5 minutes, Shaivi. We
Yeah,
look forward
only
to hearing
5 minutes.
you. Yes, we look
Only
forward.
5 minutes.
Yes,
Yes,
yes, we look
yes,
forward, Shaivi. Yes.
yes. Shaivi is one person who suffered the statement, "You are brown," and she stood up to it so bravely. I'm so proud of her and so fond of her because we share the same ground. Over to you, Shaivi, our brilliant speaker, Shaivi. Yes, Shaivi, over to you.
So much, ma'am. That added momentum to my talk today. Thank you. I hope I'm not stuck. I'm visible and audible.
Yes, yes, you are. Yeah, be louder.
Okay. Okay. As a young girl, I aspire to change the world. But ever since the beginning of my teenage years, I was constantly prodded with cautionary advices that prompted me to hesitate, afraid to explore, afraid to experiment, and afraid to exhibit. Good evening, dear ladies and gentlemen. I've come to realize that we as women are constantly afraid of an invisible enemy. An enemy who could turn up any waking second, attack us, and mortify our lives forever. While we are going out on our walks in the dark or just going about our everyday business. This fear is instilled in us. It is not paralyzing, but it is always omnipresent. In 2012, the rape and murder of a 23-year-old physiotherapy student at the National Capital, shook the nation to its core and even caught international headlines. In the same year, a 27-year-old girl was doused with gasoline and shot to death. A 23-year-old girl in Hyderabad was brutally gang raped before being set on fire. In 2018, January, a mere 8-year-old girl from Jammu and Kashmir was brutally raped and murdered. Barbaric, isn't it? Barbaric incidents like these make the headlines of our newspapers every other day. The nature of these incidents are so atrocious that they actually make it to our newspapers. While millions of women out there face violence and these cases go unnoticed, unregistered, and unacknowledged due to the social stigmatization of against the victims of violence. As these victims of violence suffer in silence, they are perpetrators. The wicked culprits go about their day unharmed, unbothered, scot free. It is especially hard for people, for women especially, who face violence and come from underprivileged sections of society. They face it as a stark reality on an everyday basis, and violences like these pushes them further into poverty. In this direction, in this bleak state of affairs, the only way forward is education and awareness. In this direction, I would like to quote an Afghani activist, Sakina Yaqubi. When you educate a woman, you educate the family. When you educate the family, you educate the nation. And when you educate the nation, you build the economy, you build the status of health, and you build the nation. Every little girl out there with a dream, well nurtured, has the potential to become a woman with vision. These women develop into leaders and mothers who guide the future generations of boys and girls towards greater equality, prosperity, and justice. But only the participation of women isn't enough. Men and women need to work side by side to dismantle the barriers to gender equality. Now, I wouldn't deny that in the recent history, we haven't made significant strides in the path to gender equality, but we still have a very long way to go. Empowering women is essential not only because women are people and they deserve equal rights, it is also because when you invest in women and empower them, you unlock the potential that helps the whole world. When you empower women and educate them, they become a secret weapon tackling global poverty. They are an untapped resource which have the potential to change human life. So, dear ladies and gentlemen, on this day, I request all of y'all to pledge towards equality for all so that in the process, we save the girl and strengthen the world. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, Shaivi. Thank you for coming in. I'm happy that you could make it, although there was a lot of technological disruption. Thank you so much. We will take up the discussions later on. We've had our first resource person, Dr. Ramila Shaker, speaking. I now call upon Dr. Harshita, a second resource person. Dr. Harshita is a counselor in Mangalore University. She is also a paralegal volunteer with the district court in Mangalore, in Dakshina Kannada. She's trained as a psychologist. She's had over about 6 years of working with the Women and Child Welfare Department in Dakshina Kannada, and therefore has had a close association with dealing with women, their abusers, the officials, and so on. So it is very essential that we hear the voice from the other side also. So I think it is very apt that we have with us Ms. Harshita. I now call upon Ms. Harshita to give us your experience. Harshita.
Very good evening to all. Very good evening to all. Very good evening to all. Am I audible?
Much of echo.
I think there are two devices.
Now am I audible?
Close to. There
You
are
can
two
mute.
devices.
Yeah, you can mute the devices. The other two devices can be muted completely, and then the issue will be solved.
Yeah, it is muted. It is muted.
No, the system has to be muted completely. This is the Google Meet being. You can mute it completely so that the voice does not come up. That time the issue will be solved. Otherwise, you'll have to log out of the other two systems. I guess there are four. That's the reason we are getting four.
Okay, good evening to all, and thank you for the opportunity. And this is mostly very toughest job for me because after serving the biryanis and all those delicious food, now I have to feed the dessert. It's like that. Toughest job ever a person can have. Delivering a talk at the last. Okay. Now, based on my experience as a counselor in Women and Child Department for 5 years and paralegal volunteer from 1 year, even now I'm a paralegal volunteer of Dakshina Kannada District Court, I will share my personal experience that I have observed and come across. From Women and Child Department, there is a concept or there is a project called as Saki One Stop Center. Saki One Stop Center is a project where they focus on helping the survivor of sexual offenses or any offenses related to women and child. Here, mainly they focus on 5 things. First comes medical aid. Second one is police aid, like they get help from the police department to lodge the complaint or to get a police protection. Third one is legal advice. There will be a legal volunteers or advocate from the government side who will be helping the survivor and the survivor family to face the legal aspect or to file a case in a court. Fourth one will be counseling to the survivor and counseling to the survivor family. And the last one is rehabilitation to the survivor if the survivor asks for. This is the main agenda of the project One Stop Center. And there is a free helpline that is 181. 181 is a free helpline. On the camera. 181 is a free helpline and it will connect to the all the centers so that the survivor can approach to the center as soon as they feel like approaching to the center. As per as Supreme Court, there is one concept called as zero FIR. Many people will be unaware of it. As per as Supreme Court, there is one concept called as zero FIR. When a survivor or the survivor's family goes to the police station, police people or police officials can't deny or refuse to take a FIR or a NCR based on the crime incident. Like they can't say that this jurisdiction that crime happened does not belong to our police jurisdiction, so we are not able to take the FIR or an NCR. Instead of that, instead of refusing, what they can do is they can take a FIR and based on a situation or based on a crime scene, they have to transfer the case to other police station. That is what zero FIR is all about. And in some cases, like if a survivor is below 18 or the severity of the crime is too dangerous, the police can file a suo motu case. Suo motu case in the sense the crime is very, very severe and it can't be tolerated by any of the department. The police should file the case on their own. That is called a suo motu case. Without any delay, without any need for the survivor statement, they will file a suo motu case. That is all about FIR. And seeking help from the legal, every district has a District Legal Service Authority, DLSA, District Legal Service Authority. From DLSA, the survivor and the family will get a lawyer, will get an advocate who will guide the survivor to go, how to go in the court. They will represent the survivor in the court. And what they can do is, and it's for like there is no need for the survivor to pay the lawyer or pay the fees for the court procedure. It's absolutely, it's a department service to the survivor, and it will definitely help the survivor to seek the legal help so that they won't deny it, saying that we don't have so much to afford in the legal service system. Other than that, if a accused is within the family, if a person who is doing the sexual or any sort of harassment is from the family, like any relatives, there will be officers in every district by name protection officer who will be LLB graduate. They will be in a position to help the survivor, women and child both women and child. To that extent, they can go to the court immediately without any delay. They can get the summons or orders from the judge, and they can submit to the concerned police station and rescue the survivor if the survivor is in the crime scene. And there is also called as DCPU, District Child Protection Unit, where DCPU will be there, District Child Protection Officers will be there, where they will see to that the survivor is safe from all the directions, and they will be in a position to bounce back. In case if a survivor is in a place where the accused is also staying in the same place, like if it is in a family case, we see to that, department see to that the survivor is separated from the same family so that survivor won't get any kind of harassment or mental harassment, or no one will try to force the survivor to take back the cases or to compromise the cases. This is all about DLSA. And DLSA also strive to get the compensation from the government. For example, when it comes to rape, when an FIR is filed, that is IPC 376 is a rape case, government will give 25,000 as a compensation called with the name called styranide. Styranide diarrhea. Styranide is a basic initial compensation to the victim or the survivor of a rape case so that she can bounce back or she can have some medical aid. After that, from DLSA, the compensation will be given to the survivor based on the judgment of the crime. And talking about Saki One Stop Center, is a center from organized or monitored by central government. It will be there for 24/7. And there will be a central administrator in this Saki center who will be like there itself. It's like 24/7. The person who is the central administrator of Saki center should be there. And there will be one counselor followed by 2 social workers and 2 legal counselor, like legal advocate, and the office staff. There will be police in the Saki center where they will record the statement of the survivor, and after recording the statement of the survivor, based on the location of a crime, they will transfer the case to the particular police station to do the rest of the needful. And if the survivor is not happy or is not feeling okay or with the concerned police people, if they are trying to abuse her or deny her or try to hurt her, humiliate her, she can go and approach the higher officials of a police department, either the commissioner of police or superintendent of police. Other than police department, they can go to NCW, that is National Commission for Women, or State Commission for Women. And if there is any crime which is not reported, like they can seek the legal help, they can directly go to the court, they can file a case that will be called as a private case, but after recording her statement, survivor statement, it will be referred to the police station to do the FIR. And there are two types of cases like FIR or the NCR. NCR is for such cases where the crime is not a severe issue, and NCR is for like a dispute within the friendship or some monetary, financial issues. For such cases, NCR will be done. FIR is done for the major or severe offences like rape or sexual abuse or harassment, physical harassment, etc. Dowry harassment. This is all about DLSA or legal help for the abused children. And there is also called as protection of child from sexual offences case. Under this, the thing is, if a girl has been abused when she was minor, below 18, from that day, the FIR will be taken into consideration. For example, I will give an example of a case where it happens in Inauguration hospital. People come there like they will be 18 and a half years, that 18 cross or just 18, but they will be married to a person. They will be pregnant. The lady will be pregnant. She will be conceiving. We will, based on her age, considering her age that she married before 18, it will be considered as child marriage, and even protection of child from sexual offense IPC section will be included because it's a sexual act, and the FIR will be made, and the husband who should be called as accused will be arrested. This is how the procedure will go on. I think this is almost the basic information about legal service system. Any doubts you can ask.
Yeah. Thank you. No, please.
Thank you for the opportunity and thank you for listening.
Yeah.
Thank you, Harshita.
Yeah, it was useful. Very useful information.
Yes, thank you, Harshita.
Now we can throw the floor
Yeah,
for discussion.
that was Harshita who spoke about the legal aspects involved. I think it can be thrown open for any questions.
Mary, would you like to express yourself? Mary, are you there? Unmute yourself.
Yes, good evening to you, ma'am.
Okay, come on. Anita.
Let's keep, yeah, who's this? Okay. This is okay.
Perpetua's mother.
Yes, Perpetua's mother. Welcome. Yeah, ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಖುಷಿ ಆಗಿದೆ. ನೀವು ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಅನಿಸಿಕೆಗಳನ್ನ ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿ, ಧೈರ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿ, ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿಯೇ ಮಾತಾಡಿ.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸೋ ಮಚ್ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್. ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಧನ್ಯವಾದ. ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಮೇರಿ ಜೋಸೆಫ್. ಇವತ್ತು ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ದಿನಾಚರಣೆ, ಹೆಣ್ಣು ಮಕ್ಕಳ ದಿನಾಚರಣೆ ದಿನ ನಾನು ನನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಜೀವನದ ಘಟನೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮುಂದೆ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಲು ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತೇನೆ. ನಾನು ಮದುವೆಯಾಗಿ 16 ವರ್ಷ ಆಯ್ತು. ಕಳೆದ 14 ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ 14 ಇಯರ್ಸ್ ಆ ಒಂದು ಘಟನೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಹೆಣ್ಣು ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳುವಾಗ ನಾವು 4 ಗೋಡೆ ಒಳಗಡೆ, ಮನೆ ಒಳಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ, ಅದು ಕಿಚನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗ್ಲಿ ಮನೆ ಒಳಗೆ, ಅದರಿಂದ ಹೊರಗೆ ಹೋಗೋ ನನ್ನ ಗಂಡನಿಂದ ನನಗೊಂದು ಯಾವುದೇ ಚಾನ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಮನೆ ಒಳಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಮನೆ ಒಳಗೆ ಫ್ರೀಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗ್ಲಿ, ಗಂಡನೊಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಪ್ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡೋದೊಂದು ಇರ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಮಕ್ಕಳೊಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ನನಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅವಕಾಶ ಇರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾರು ಮಾತಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ನೀನು ಬಾಯಿ ತೆಗೆದ್ರೆ ನಿಂಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ನನ್ಗೆ ಹೊಡಿತಿದ್ರು. ಆತರ ಒಂದು ಸಲ ಮದುವೆಯಾಗಿ ಬಂದ್ಮೇಲೆ ತಾಯಿ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸಹ ಒಂದು ಕಾಂಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ನಾನು ಕಳ್ಕೊಂಡೆ. 8 ವರ್ಷ 10 ವರ್ಷ ಮತ್ತೆ ಯಾವ್ದೇ ಒಂದು ಕಾಂಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದಷ್ಟು ನೀನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ ಗೆರೆ ನೀನ್ ದಾಟ್ಬಾರ್ದು. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾರಣ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನನ್ ಗಂಡನ ಒಂದು ಮೆಂಟಾಲಿಟಿ. ಅವ್ರು ಚಿಕ್ಕದ್ರಿಂದ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಬೆಳೆದ್ರು, ಯಾವ ಚಿಕ್ಕದಿಂದ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಯಾವ್ದ ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಅವರು ಬೆಳೆದ ವಾತಾವರಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಣ್ಣುಮಕ್ಕಳನ್ನ ಕೀಳಾಗಿ ನೋಡುವ ಒಂದು ವಾತಾವರಣ ಅವ್ರು ಬೆಳೆದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇದು ಇತ್ತು, ಈ ರೀತಿಯ ಒಂದು ಇತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ, ಆಗಿನ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಣ್ಣು ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ತೋಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಇರ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಶಾಲೆ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಆ ಒಂದು ಶಾಲೆದ ಒಂದು ವಾತಾವರಣನೇ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಒಂದು 17 ವರ್ಷ ಆಗುವಾಗ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಮದ್ವೆ ಆಗಿ ಗಂಡನ ಮನೆಗೆ ಕಳಿಸ್ತಿದ್ರು. ಅವ್ರು ಸಹ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಕಿರುಕುಳನ, ನಾನಾ ರೀತಿಯ ಒಂದು ಅವರು ಕಿರುಕುಳ ಅನುಭವ ಸಂಶೋಧನೆಗೆ ಒಳಗಾಗ್ತಿದ್ರು. ಅದು ಈ ಆಧುನಿಕ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗಲೂ ಸಹ ನನ್ನಂತ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಜನ ಹೆಣ್ಮಕ್ಳು ತುಂಬಾ ಕಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಈಗ ನಾವು ಖಂಡಿತ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಹೇಗಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಈಗ ನಾವು ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ, ಒಂದು ಪೋಷಕರಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೇಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಮಕ್ಕಳನ್ನ ನಾವು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ನಾವು ಬೆಳೆಸ್ತೇವೆ, ಗಂಡು ಹೆಣ್ಣು ಇರುವಾಗ ನಾವು ಅವರನ್ನ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ನಾವು ಅವರನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಮೆಂಟಾಲಿಟಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಬೆಳೆಸ್ತೇವೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಒಂದು ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗ ಅವ್ರು ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ನಮ್ಮ ಪೋಷಕರಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ಖಂಡಿತ ಸಾಧ್ಯ. ಹೆಣ್ಣು ಮತ್ತೆ ಗಂಡು ಮಗು ಮನೇಲಿ ಇರುವಾಗ ನಾವು ಸಾಧಾರಣವಾಗಿ ಕಾಮನ್ ಆಗಿ ನಾವು ಹೆಣ್ಣು ಮಗು ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ, ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿ ಹೋಗು, ಮನೇಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ನಿನ್ ಮನಸ್ಸಿಗೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಕಲಿಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಆಗ ನಾವು ಗಂಡು ಮಗು ಯಾವ ಕೆಲಸ ಹೇಳುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಆಗ ಅವ್ನು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂತ ನೋಡುವಾಗ, ನನ್ನ ಅಕ್ಕ, ನನ್ನ ತಂಗಿ, ನಮ್ಮಮ್ಮ ಮನೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಆಗ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿ ಅದನ್ನ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾನೆ ಆ ಮನಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ. ಅವಳು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಮನೇಲಿ, ತಾಯಿ ಮಾತ್ರ, ಹೆಂಗಸು ಮಾತ್ರ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ನನಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅದೇನಾಗ್ತದೆ, ಅದು ಒಂಥರ ಬೇರೆ ರೀತಿಲಿ ಅವನ ಮನಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಥಾಟ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಅದೇ ಅವನು ಗ್ರೋ ಆಗುವಾಗ, ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಹೋಗುವ ಆ ಹೆಣ್ಣನ್ನ ಅದೇ ಒಂದು ಕೀಳು ಭಾವನೆಯಿಂದ ನೋಡ್ತಾನೆ. ನೋಡುವಾಗ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಅವನಿಗೆ ನಾನು ಏನ್ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಹೆಣ್ಣು. ಅವಳು ಸುಮ್ನೆ ಇರ್ತಾಳೆ, ಸೈಲೆಂಟ್, ಅವಳು ಸಹನೆಯಿಂದ ಸುಮ್ನೆ ಇರ್ತಾಳೆ, ಹೇಳಿದನ ನಾನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾಳೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ಹೇಳುವಾಗ ಅವಳು ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಹೋಗುವಾಗ ನಾಳೆ ಆ ಹೆಣ್ಣು ಮಗು ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದೇ ರೀತಿಯ ಒಂದು ಶೋಷಣೆಗೆ ಒಳಗಾಗ್ತಾಳೆ. ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಈಗ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಗಂಡು ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೆಣ್ಣನ್ನ ಸಮನಾಗಿ ನೋಡುವ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪಟ್ರೆ ಅದೇ ಗೌರವ. ಗಂಡು ಮಗುಗೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೆಣ್ಣು ಮಗು ಇಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ ಒಬ್ಬರನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರ ಗೌರವ ಕೊಡುವ ಒಂದು ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕೊಡುವ ಒಂದು ವಾತಾವರಣ ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಸೃಷ್ಟಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, ಆ ಗಂಡು ಮಗುಗೆ ಆ ಹೆಣ್ಣಿ ನೋಡುವಾಗ್ಲೇ ಆ ದೃಷ್ಟಿ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಅದೊಂದು ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ, ಅದು ಒಂದು ನಮಗೆ ಒಂದು ಗೌರವ. ಹೊರಗೆ ಹೋಗುವಾಗ ಅವನು ಅದೇ ರೀತಿಯ ಒಂದು ಒಂದು ನೋಡಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಆ ಹೆಣ್ಣು ಮಗುಗೆ ಒಂದು ಗೌರವ ಬರುವಾಗ ಅವನ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಆ ರೀತಿ ಒಂದು ದೃಷ್ಟಿ ಇರುದಿಲ್ಲ, ಕೆಟ್ಟ ದೃಷ್ಟಿ ಇರುದಿಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಒಂದು ಕೆಟ್ಟ ಒಂದು ಅವನ ಭಾವನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುವುದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅವನಿಗೆ. ಒಂದು ಕಾರಣ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ನಾನು ಮನೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ 14 ಇಯರ್ಸ್ ನನ್ನನ್ನು, ನಂದು ಲೈಫ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಮತ್ತೆ ನನ್ನ ಮಕ್ಕಳನ್ನು ಅವರು ಟಾರ್ಚರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಒಡೆಯುದು, ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದನ್ನೇ ಕೇಳ್ಬೇಕು, ನಮ್ಮ ಮಾತು ಏನು ಕೇಳ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಇದನ್ನ ನನ್ನ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ನೋಡುವಾಗ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಬೇರೆ ವಾತಾವರಣ ಗೊತ್ತೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಒಡೆಯುದು, ಬಡಿಯುದು, ಇದು ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದನ್ನ ಕೇಳ್ಬೇಕು, ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರ ಮನೆಗೆ ಬರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊರಗೆ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗುದಿಲ್ಲ, ಏನು ಒಂದು ಗೇಟ್ ಕೀ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಮನೆದ ಕೀನ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಈಗಿರುವಾಗ ನನ್ನ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ನಾಳೆ ಅವರದನ್ನೇ ರೋಲ್ ಮಾಡಲಾಗಿ ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗುವಾಗ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ನಾಳೆ ಇದು ಇನ್ನು ಈಗ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಗೆ ಬರುವ ಹೆಣ್ಣು ಮಗು ಸಹ ನಮ್ಮಾಗಿ ಶೋಷಣೆಗೆ ಒಳಗಾಗ್ತಾಳೆ. ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗುದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಇವತ್ತು ಈ ದಿನ ನಾನು ಹೆಣ್ಣು ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಕೈ ಮುಗಿದು ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತೇನೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಹೆಣ್ಣು ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಂದ ಎಲ್ಲಾನು ಸಾಧ್ಯ. ಒಂದು ಮನಸ್ಸು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ನಾವು ಕಷ್ಟ ಕಿರುಕುಳ ಪಡ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಒಂದು ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆನೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಾವು ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿಯಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಚಿಕ್ಕದ್ರಿಂದಾನೇ ಆ ಒಂದು ಹೆಣ್ಣು ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಗೌರವ ಕೊಡುವನ್ನ ಒಂದು ನಾವು ಮಕ್ಕಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮನಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ, ಖಂಡಿತ ಇದನ್ನ ಮುಂದೆ ಬರುವ ಜನರೇಷನ್ಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಗಂಡು ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೆಣ್ಣು ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಮನಾಗಿ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಇರುವುದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇದನ್ನ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಇದು ನಮ್ಮ ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಈ ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವುದು. ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಇವತ್ತು ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಆ ಮೆಂಟಾಲಿಟಿ, ಒಂದು ಗಂಡು ಹೆಣ್ಣು ಆ ಭೇದ ಭಾವ ಇರಬಾರ್ದು ಮುಂದೆ ಬರುವ ಜನರೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಈಗ ಆ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಇತ್ತು, ಹೋಯ್ತು, ಈಗ ಸಹ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ. ಈಗ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಜನ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ರೀತಿಲಿ, ಅದು ಇನ್ನು ಮುಂದೆ ಬರೋದು ಬೇಡ. ನಮ್ಮ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಒಂದು ಗೌರವ, ಒಂದು ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್, ನಮ್ಮ ಸಮಾಜ ಒಂದು ಮುಂದೆ ಒಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇಬ್ಬರು ಒಂದು ಮುಂದೆ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಂಡೋಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅದು ಆದರ್ಶ ಆಗ್ತದಂತ ನಾನು ಈ ಒಂದೆರಡು ಮಾತನ್ನ ನನ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅವಕಾಶ ಕೊಟ್ಟದ್ದು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಧನ್ಯವಾದ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸೋ ಮಚ್.
ಮೇರಿ ಜೋಸೆಫ್ ಅವರೇ, ತುಂಬಾ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನ ತುಂಬಾ ಮೆಚ್ಚಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ತುಂಬಾ ಧೈರ್ಯದಿಂದ ನೀವು ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಒಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಜೆಂಡರ್ ಸೆನ್ಸಿಟೈಸೇಷನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸೇ ನಮ್ಗೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀರಿ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಲಾಸು ಇದೆ, ಮಹಿಳೆಯರನ್ನ, ಸ್ತ್ರೀಗಳನ್ನ, ಮಕ್ಕಳನ್ನ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುವ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಲಾಸು ಇದೆ. ಆದ್ರೂ ಜನರದು ಆಟಿಟ್ಯೂಡ್ ಉಂಟಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಇನ್ನೂ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಆಟಿಟ್ಯೂಡ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೆ ಒಳಗಡೆನೆ ಶುರು ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ನೀವು ತುಂಬಾ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿದಿರಿ, ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿಯೇ ನಾವು ಗಂಡು ಹೆಣ್ಣುವನ್ನ ಸಮಾನ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಬೆಳೆಸ್ಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಬೆಳೆಸುವಾಗ ಇಬ್ರಕ್ಕೆ ಅದು ಒಂಥರ ಸಮಾನತೆ ಅಂತ. For those of you who are here who cannot understand Kannada, I think Mary Joseph gave an excellent, her experience. She gave an excellent portrayal of her experience, where she says that the bottom line is that she says that there has to be gender sensitization, and this should begin at home. They should begin at home. Parents should bring up their boys and girls in an equal way, should teach the boys to respect the girls, because without which this will not go up. And I should congratulate Mary Joseph, because ನೀವು ತುಂಬಾ ಧೈರ್ಯ ತೋರಿಸಿದ್ದೀರಮ್ಮ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಯಿಂದ ಹೊರಗೆ ಬಂದು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ನೀವೊಂದು ಒಂದು ದಾರಿ ತೋರಿಸಬೇಕು, ಒಂದು ದಾರಿ ದೀಪವಾಗಿ ನೀವು ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಎನಿಸಿಕೊಂಡು ನೀವು ಮುಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಲ್ಲ, ಅದನ್ನ ನಾನು ಮೆಚ್ಚುತ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಕಂಗ್ರ್ಯಾಚುಲೇಷನ್ಸ್. ತುಂಬಾ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ನೀವು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಒಂದು ಜನರ ಹತ್ರ ನೀವು ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೀರಿ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನೀವು ಎನ್ಸಿದ್ರೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಹೆಮ್ಮೆ ಪಡಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಪರ್ಪೆಚುವಾ ಪೆರೇರಾ ತುಂಬಾ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ವಯಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಅಚೀವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇನ್ನು ನೀವು ಹಿಂದೆ ನೋಡಬಾರ್ದು, ಇನ್ನು ನೀವು ಖಾಲಿ ಮುಂದೆನೆ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಕೀಪ್ ಲುಕಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್, ಹಿಂದೆ ನೋಡಬಾರ್ದು. ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಎಸ್, ಯು ಸಿ ಯೋರ್ ಡಾಟರ್ ಇಸ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಬಿಹೈಂಡ್ ಯು. Behind a success mother, there stands a daughter.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Professor Maria Dicta. These are very, ಇವರಿಂದ ನಮ್ಗೆ ತುಂಬಾನೇ ಒಂದು ಆಧಾರ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಮುಂದೆ ಬರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಇವ್ರಿಲ್ಲದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಈ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಗೆ ಬರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸೋ ಮಚ್ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಮಾರಿಯಾ ಡಿಕೋಸ್ತಾ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
Thank you.
Now we have Pallavi expressing her views. Pallavi, over to you. Can you join us in the discussion?
Pallavi, can you introduce yourself, Pallavi?
Yeah, I am from Manipal. I run a children's library.
Okay.
And a learning center here. And I am I met Maria ma'am on the book launch of Perpetua and Diya, and it was a overwhelming experience. And knowing each one's story was I got attached to all of them, and that's how we met, and the collaboration is growing.
Yeah. Can you say something about what you heard?
Yes.
Your input. Yes. Come, Pallavi.
Yes. See, first of all, this topic is very close to my heart, because as I have also gone through, as a child, I have gone through abuse, different kind of abuse at different ages. So from strangers, from teachers, different kind of people I have gone through abuse, and then how people go through, what reaction it happens, and what character change happens inside a person. So those all I have faced, and this space which I made just for myself to get over with all those kind of trauma, so that you can express yourself much better, you can find yourself. So that's how I had this space. So this topic is very close to my heart. So each one of them, when they spoke, I was kind of getting connected to them, was able to feel whatever they're trying to tell. And very rightly said by Mary that it has to start from the home. We have to do it from the home and show to our children. And that is so it was totally, I was because I have gone through this, so it's very close to my heart. And we have to share stories. We all have to share our stories to get rid of those feelings and then get over it also. And we have to also encourage people and make people more and more aware that what you can do. So I also do storytelling sessions with little elder age group children, where we have these kind of discussions, small groups, so that they can come out and also express themselves. Thank you so much for taking this initiative and coming out for this kind of sessions. It is if we can have it regularly and make more and more people aware, that will be great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pallavi. Thank you for your contribution. Is there anybody else who would like to talk something, or express their opinion or just talk about themselves, what it has been to grow up like a girl. Is there somebody else? There is one person called Daryl Dan from Singapore who has been wanting to speak. Dan, are you there? Daryl, are you there? Daryl? He had asked much earlier that he would like to ask a question, and we said, yes, let's everybody speak, but perhaps there's some connection. He's logged in from Singapore. Is there anybody else who would like to say something about this? Yes, I'll take off from what Pallavi said. We definitely intend to carry this forward. It's just that, the first step is to make women and girls come out and talk in the open about it, because all this has to do with violence and abuse are two subjects that happens behind closed doors, be it within a home, be it within a school or a college or a university or workspaces. They're never in public spaces. So therefore not many people have seen them, not many people have heard about them, except the ones that are involved in it. And therefore, because there is a sense of shame attached to it, we tend to keep quiet for various reasons. Okay, we tend to keep quiet for various reasons. Reasons, I said, of the intersectionalities that we come from. What will my family think of? Will I be able to get a good match? Will I bring shame about my community? The process of law takes a very long time. And of course, above all, the trauma that I undergo, I do not know where to go. So these are all the issues that make girls and women and anybody, even boys who are abused, keep quiet on this. We have laws to help us. As one of the panelists says, what has the country done? The country has done a lot. There are laws, but as happens everywhere, most of us are not aware. But today we have technology with us. We can just Google it. We can YouTube it. Proceedings of the court are available to us. But I think this should, gender sensitization should become an integral part of, as Mary Joseph said, yes, of course, in an informal way, but in schools and colleges, this should be taught as important as a subject, just like mathematics or science or any other way, because there is no other way forward. 50% of our population, particularly in India, consists of girls. If that 50% is not able to become productive, the loss is for the country. And they're not being able to be productive. Why is it that the sex ratio, the child sex ratio is low? Is it not because girls are not born? Yes, they are born, but they're not allowed to live. Why is that? Of course, we have reduced our maternal mortality rates, we have reduced our infant mortality rates, we have reduced all that. But why is it? It is again because of some of the gendered prejudices that are being practiced within the family. These are the things of the fact that even today we find, even in affluent families, we find that girls are not given nutritious food. They are married off early. They carry with them the burden of violence and so on. As a result of which, what happens? They give low age at marriage. There are still, even though the marriage was age was 18, we still did have societies where girls were married off when they're 14 and 15, and when they're not ready for child marriage. So they give birth to low birth weight babies, LBW babies. So the effect of all this, it is not because of anything. The basis of all this is a gender discrimination, which starts right from the time a girl is born. So I think we can make this dialogue meaningful only if we come out and speak, whether we want to change this. Let's not wait for the government to change it. Let's begin the change. Let's be the change. Let's talk about it. I would appreciate Mary Joseph in this. She has come out in the open and she has been a tower of strength for her children. And look at what she said. She said, I have faced this violence from my husband, but I didn't want my children to go through that. And that's a very, I think, a very emotional and a very strong statement for a wife and a mother to make. And she said she will start her life from scratch. So she wanted that help, she got it. But I think the Mary Josephs of this world are the real torchbearers. who show us that life needs to go on. We need to fight. She sought help. And today we know 14-year-old Perpetua, where she has reached. She has published her book, Broken. I forget the title of the book.
Beautifully broken.
Beautifully broken. Just look at that. I saw the book. It was featured in Mangalore today. And it's all about healing. It's all about healing. And that's why the title says beautifully broken. And I'm sure if you talk to Perpetua further and we'll give an opportunity for that, she would say how healing this journey has been. She has tried to be very positive about it. She has been a rebel. Rebel in the sense not of taking up fights on the streets, but a quiet revolution started out by her mother, of coming out into the open, of fighting the system, of seeing and of showing to the world, particularly her husband, her father, and her family, yes, we matter. Our lives matter. And I appreciate Mary Joseph, because you said today's National Girl Child Day. Yes, we have schemes by the government, but what we need to realize is that this change needs to start from home. We need to re-socialize, I think, our children, our boys, and our girls. Instead of telling girls to behave, instead of telling them to dress properly, we need to tell our boys to behave. We need to tell them to respect the girls. And we need to teach them to, equal share in housework, to say that every work is dignified. Every work is dignified. So this is how I would like. Is there somebody else? Because I was so taken up. ತುಂಬಾ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳಮ್ಮ. ಮೇರಿ ಜೋಸೆಫ್ ಅವರೇ, ನೀವು ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀರಿ, ತುಂಬಾ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಿ, ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನೀವು ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಿ.
Any other man who was on this stage, could you express yourself? Any gentleman?
Is there Ravi? Would you like to speak? Is there anybody who would like to speak? Is there? Let's see the. Yeah, we are now only with Ravi Shankar. Are you there? Are you there? Are you there? Is there somebody else who would like to speak?
There's Kishori Nayak.
Yeah.
Merlin Martis.
Merlin is also there. Merlin, ma'am, are you there? Changa, you don't want. I used to say excellent, now coming out and speaking.
Yeah. If I can say something, I'm Ravi Shankar Rao, Doctor, Professor at Mangalore University. I must compliment the Center for Women's Studies for organizing a panel discussion of this kind, and also particularly the association with UXL, because this is the kind of thing that universities must do in reaching out to workers in the field and scholars in the field. I must also compliment all the speakers who have participated here and made their statement in front of the world. That is a wonderful thing, because in these matters there is no scope for shame. I remember a recent case where normally in television the face of the complainant is always covered. The survivor of sexual abuse, when she makes a complaint, and the whole thing is covered on television. ಆಗ ಅವಳ ಮುಖವನ್ನು ಮುಚ್ಚುವ ಒಂದು ವಾಡಿಕೆ ಇದೆ. Whereas this girl said, I don't need to hide my face. ಯಾಕೆ ಮುಚ್ಚಬೇಕು ನಾನೇನು ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ? ನಾನು ತಪ್ಪು ಆದದನ್ನ ಕಂಪ್ಲೇಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರುವಾಗ ನಾನು ಯಾಕೆ ನನ್ನ ಮುಖವನ್ನು ನಾನು ಯಾಕೆ ಮುಚ್ಚಿಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು? ಬೇಡ, ಮುಚ್ಚಬೇಡಿ, ನನ್ನನ್ನು ತೋರಿಸಿ, ನನ್ನ ಮುಖವನ್ನು ತೋರಿಸಿ, ಎಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ. This is the confidence that we should acquire. And I see that confidence in the panelists today. And the whole exercise has been very ably supported by the two resource persons. So I think today we have built a good community. And my compliments to Professor Maria de Costa and Dr. Anita Ravishankar and the two resource persons and everyone who has been involved in this exercise for building a community that will enable us to live without fear and with dignity. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Ravi Shankar. I would just like to, since Dr. Ramila is there, I was just asking, let's say we have now a very small community of 27 of us, that includes us also. What is it that,
Carry
girls can
forward.
do? What is it that girls can do? Let's say if they feel that they are abused, where should they approach? At least in Mangalore, is there some place, since most of us are from here, is it some place where they could come to, they and their parents, let's say? Sometimes they don't inform their parents, they would like to come on their own with their friends and so on. So is there some place where they could come to?
Yeah, I think one thing, that first thing is when it happens, there is no need for the girls to shy out. That is the first thing I want to tell. I don't think we should shy and keep quiet. First thing is be able to, when you know something that is happening to you is uncomfortable. I'm using the word uncomfortable to you. Okay, don't think it is my uncle, it is somebody who's funding my education, so I have to keep quiet. The first thing is just tell that person that you're feeling uncomfortable and he should not do it. So that is assertiveness. Again, I go back to what Dr. Anita said. It doesn't mean that you have to be on the street. It doesn't mean like a typical movie, you have to take a high heeled shoes and hit the person on the head. Illa. All that you have to do is tell that person, I know this is not okay and I'm not allowing you to do it. The moment you start voicing it out itself, that will drive this person away. One. Second, if this doesn't happen, the first thing is, of course, take into confidence your parents, okay, because they are the nearest to you. Okay, and second thing is take the help of any mental health professional, any teacher, any women's centers, and I think Merlin is there. Deeds is one of the very important institution that I also refer women. A lot of women and my girls. See, if it is children below 18, I immediately take the help of Childline. And as I told you, Childline has been doing things very, very confidentially. And they have helped out in almost so many examples or so many cases where they've gone out of the way and helped us out. So that is one thing. If it is below 18, you have to report to the Childline, because again, as I mentioned, anywhere they come, we are bound by the POCSO Act. So if we don't inform, then we are liable under the Act. So that is what I've taken. And also I'm happy to inform you, there are quite a few of, as Harshita rightly mentioned, lot of these police personals also who are very helpful. Okay, we think that they are not. No, there are. And they themselves are referring cases for us. Actually, I get a lot of cases here from the police station. Okay, that is one. That is the second thing is, as I told you, Bangalore has a lot of mental health professionals. You have the psychiatrists, you have psychologists, you have counselors who are working. So just go and approach whoever is near to you. Now, for example, if it is something that is happening near Konaje, go approach the women's center of the university. If it is something that is happening in Falnir or Hampangatta, Kankanadi area, please come. I am there at Manashanti. Manashanti is a well-being center that is there in Highlands. Okay, it is near APS. It is in APS complex. It is in Highlands, and I can give you the number right away. You can always contact me, and that's why I said, see, if it is somewhere again near Konaje, you have a very good team at KS Hegde Memorial Hospital. You can approach Dr. Srinivas Bhatt. If it is Father Mullah's, you can definitely approach Dr. Supriya. So there are so many people everywhere. So all that you need to do is just get in touch with all people and we will get around. And that is what I am looking for. I mean, that's something that I am, I told you I have a dream is let's form a small committee or a small core group or whatever you want to call it so that we are available for these children. We are available for these women and let's see how we can work on it. It's not going to be very easy, but we can definitely work. And I've taken help of Merlin so much. So if you want, I'm just giving the number of Manashanti. The number of Manashanti is 916 446 917.
Yeah.
Tapasya, maybe you can help with your IT skills to put it up for everyone. 916 446 917. Perfect. Somebody has already put it up. Perfect.
Pallavi has put it up.
Pallavi. Thank you, Pallavi. Yes.
Those
Yeah.
who are on the platform, can we form a core group to take this forward?
Oh, yes, we can. I think initially, I think what we could do is we could decide on when we will meet next, at least, at a time that is convenient for all of us. And and particularly to the students who are here, please talk to your friends about this. And
Absolutely. That was the second thing that I also wanted to tell Anita,
yeah,
that let it not be talk about this.
yes,
Go home and tell also. Today we had a webinar on what is it. Don't hush up. Oh, they talked about sex. No, no, no. I won't tell about that. They only talked about girl child. No, talk about it. Yeah, your parents might be shocked at the beginning because I know what it is. Why are they talking like that? Then you educate them. See, these cases are happening, so they are talking about it. So now I know better. Now I think if something happens, I know I will come back to you. When you tell such things, parents will start having confidence in. Now don't stop talking. The first thing that you have to do is talk. Let there be a ripple effect of this webinar. I think that will be worth it for Philip and Anita. I think that's the
yes,
most important.
this should start. This should become a platform, and perhaps we could meet in sometime next month. Next month is just about 10 days away, but we could meet in perhaps the second week of February at a convenient time, and where the participants here would let this be known to their friends. So we will just take a platform and we will meet, and we can just talk about. Let's say somebody is facing an issue, let's let it first start with helping out the other, and slowly let's see how we can take it forth. Okay, so I think this is something that we need to keep. I think the ball will we will set it a roll.
Yes.
Yes, I'm quite serious. Yes, Tapasya, would you like to say something?
Yes, before I think I just saw a question from Miss Shambhavi. She wanted to speak a few words here.
Okay, Shambhavi, please introduce yourself. We're happy to listen to you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Shambhavi Chauhan. Thank you, everyone, and I would really like to appreciate everyone here to take such a great initiative. The main problem is about awareness. Not everyone is aware about the day only, National Girls Child Day. Not everyone know about this. It's something that a woman or a girl should know, but they don't know. And the most important thing, according to me, is voice, being vocal, to be confident, to be able to speak out of any problem that one is facing. A very small incident. I was at a bus stop in my college. I was at a bus stop. A man, he approached me and he was asking me, "Do you want to put oil on you or something like that?" The first thing that I did was I raised my voice against him. What are you
Absolutely.
trying to say? Why are you
Perfect.
doing this to me? Who are you? And the first thing, and I called for police. I said, "ये मैं तुझे पुलिस के पास लेके चलती हूँ. I'll take you to police." And the first thing that he did, he ran away from there, and nowhere to be found after that. And the most sad thing was that everyone was watching and no one helped me. No one helped me. They were commenting, "Oh, it's because of the dress that she is wearing. why you're wearing strapless? It was the question by the ladies that were there. Why should I be ashamed of what I'm wearing? It's the problem and the thought process of the others that one needs to change. One should bring the change in himself first, and then they should aware and make others aware about this. And most important thing is to share with parents or friends. My mother, she was not so broad-minded, I can say, because of the society only. But when I started sharing her my feelings or my experience, it was from time to time things get changed. And I saw this change in my mother also, that the way now she's thinking and the thought process of her about all these things that are happening to women, and I'm very proud about that. And I'm saying this because people do change. It's not that people can't change or their thought process can't change. They do change. So it's just about the awareness and confidence and being vocal. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Shambhavi. Shambhavi, where are you from?
Ma'am, I'm actually from Bihar. I
Okay.
belong. Yes, ma'am.
Right now?
Ma'am, I'm in Sagar. My father, he's in defense.
Okay, okay.
Yes,
Thank you,
ma'am.
Shambhavi, for joining in and contributing. The issues that you raised are very true. Even many of the papers also did not carry that today is National Girl Child Day. It is
Yes.
not that, if anything happens, women get to know the last. It's a responsibility of mainstream society to let us know, yes, this is the Girl Child Day. We have to scream ourselves hoarse. That's why we at the Center for Women's Studies decided to have this. We wanted to make this visible. Yes, today is the National Girl Child's Day, and let's come out in the open and speak. Thank you so much. What you made such valuable contributions, Shambhavi. Stay in touch. Stay in touch. We'll carry this dialogue forward because we need to rope in more people. Remember, it's the public space, in the sense it's a group that gives the individuals confidence. I have a group with me, I have an organization with me, and therefore I'm being supported. And I think as women, what we need to know is we need to support girls. And it's not only girls, we also need to reach out to boys who are abused. So this is not just supporting the girls and leaving out the boys. No, anybody who is abused, we should not, because harassment, like somebody said, it's we don't have a right to be harassed. Why should we be? Okay, so all the marginalized, we will gradually widen it out, but we realize that it's not always boys who harass girls, because patriarchy is very it is structural. So okay, so we will carry this dialogue forward. Thank you, Shambhavi, for contributing. Is there somebody else who would like to say something?
Kanakala, Harish. Tammy.
If there is no, we'll wind up because it is nearing 5:30. I think everyone here would agree that we really had a meaningful discussion, that rather than just having a run of the mill, where we have one or two. Of course, even those are good. We need those speakers, we need those seminars. But today, I am very, very happy that young people participated and they spoke out the views, because whenever young people start thinking, then there is hope for society. These are going to be the youth, these are going to be the future citizens, and therefore we set them thinking. And many of them, starting with Perpetua, it is not easy to talk about abuse. It's not at all easy. So congratulations to all the speakers who specifically went through this abuse, were brave enough to come and speak. Perpetua, her mother, Mary Joseph, and everybody else who really spoke about. Congratulations, and of course Pallavi, who started this entire venture out of the pain that she underwent. So I think congratulations, Pallavi. Let's keep in touch. We'll carry this dialogue further. We will expand it to Manipal also. Yeah,
Thank you.
a small community of people who are talking and who reach out to the others. I think that is what is needed. Yeah, is there? So should we wind up?
Yes. Yeah. I thank you, Dr. Anita, for joining, for helping UXL join university level, the Women's Studies Department. And I'm very proud of what we did today. Let's continue. Let this tiny step lead to strides.
Yes.
In saving the world, strengthening
Yes,
the world.
right. Yes, yes. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you,
Yeah,
Dr.
thank
Ramila
you.
Shaker.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you,
Thank
Ramila.
you, Phyllis,
Thank
ma'am.
you,
Thank you, Harshita. All the panelists, all the participants. Thank you so much. ತುಂಬಾ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳಮ್ಮ ಮೇರಿ ಜೋಸೆಫ್ ಬಂದದಕ್ಕೆ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೇಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ತುಂಬಾ ತುಂಬಾ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸೋ ಮಚ್. ನನಗೆ ಒಂದು ಅವಕಾಶ, ಒಂದು ಮಾತು ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸೋ ಮಚ್.
ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೂ ಮಾತಾಡೋಣ, ಇನ್ನೂ ಮಾತಾಡೋಣ.
ಪಲ್ಲವಿ
ಮುಗಿದಿದೆ.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
Yes,
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸೋ ಮಚ್.
yes,
Thank you, Maria, ma'am. Thank you, Anita, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Shall we adjourn?
Yes, we will.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
God bless you.
God bless you. All of us. Stay healthy. What is important is staying healthy these days. Yes.
Thank you, Tapasya.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah.